let's get those notes out. And it says on the back of page 26, 3.3, number 2, it says evaluate with calculator. Round to the 10,000. How many places is the 10,000? How many places is that? 1. And what is that? That is the 10th, right? That's the 10th. Okay. How many places do I have now? 2. And that is the 100th. Now I have 3 places, and that is the 1,000. And if I go 1 more, I'm going to have 4 decimal places, and that is the 10,000. So we want 4 decimal places. Okay, and we just type it in. So everybody's got a calculator in your hands. Everybody's typing log 8.61. You're going to round it off to 4 decimal places. What are you going to write down? .9350. Right? Kids, this isn't hard. We're just typing and writing down the answer. .9350. Okay. LN12. Well, you have an LN button right under your log button. So LN12. What are we going to write down now? 2.4849. Where's your calculator? Sometimes you have to turn them off and turn them back on for the charge to show up. Okay. Cole, where's your calculator? In your hand? Good. Where's yours? Got it? Okay, we're all typing in. All right, so 2.4849. All right. How about C? LN -9. It doesn't work. So, a rule. You cannot take the logarithm. Remember, ln is a logarithm. These are both logarithms. You can't do this. You can't take the logarithm of a negative number. It doesn't work. You can't do it. So there's no answer to that problem. You can't take the logarithm of a negative. Okay? Ever. All right, log 15.47. 1.1895.
Yep.
Remember, if we're rounding it off to 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, that's where we're rounding it off. That number is more than half, so it's going to bump this up and make it a 5. What am I ready for? ln 1 divided by 23.
Negative.
We got a negative, and that's okay. Some of your logarithms are going to be negative. It's perfectly all right. Negative 3.1355. What do you think about F? Don't even type it in. I mean, you can if you want, but what's going to happen when you type it in? You're going to say error because we can't ever take the logarithm of a negative. So what about G? That's not going to work either. How about H? On 1977.
3.296.
Yep, 3.2960. Super easy. We're just typing it in. You're going to need that in a little while. Not today, but coming up, you're going to need that. Okay, solve the following. Do not be frightened. You already know how to do this. First of all, what's missing right here? A 10. So we're gonna put a 10 in. Now, let's loop-de-loo it. What does it say when I loop-de-loo it? 10 to the third equals x. 10 to the third equals x. Well, what's 10 to the third? 10 times 10 times 10, that's 1,000. So the answer to the problem is 1,000. That was pretty easy. How about this one? The log of x equals -1. So again, let's fill in what's missing. Let's stick a little 10 in there. Because why? LOG, plain by itself, always means base 10. Okay? So loop-de-loo it, what's it say? 10 to the -1st equals x. Well, you just took a quiz over this. What's 10 to the -1st mean? 1 over 10. So the answer to the problem is 110. Can you do C? It's almost the same thing. Put that 10 in, and then loop-de-loo it, so we have 10 to the -2nd equals x. And what does 10 to the -2nd mean? 1 over 10 squared. So your answer is 1 over 100. All right, what are you going to do with this one now? It looks a little bit different, but what do we remember? What's ln? Log base e. So let's just rewrite the problem. Instead of ln, make it log base e. And then can we loop-de-loo it? Yep. And what's it gonna say? E to the 4th equals x. And here's the good news. E is a number, so you're done. That's it. E to the 4th. Done. You don't need to type that in. You don't need to do anything with it. You're finished. That is the answer to the question. It's like when you have an answer like 28 pi, you just leave the pi. Well, when we have an answer with an E, we just leave the E. So what do you think the next one's going to be?
E to the 6.
Exactly. It's log base E. So it's going to be E to the 6th equals x, and you're done. How easy is that? Okay? All right, let's look at the next one now. I'm going to go ahead and put my 10 in, because every time I see an LOG by itself, I put in a 10. Now this is an equation. We're going to solve this equation. Anybody have any ideas?
It'd be 10 cubed equals x, and then that would be 1,000, and then you got times 3.
This, you're doing it like we did some yesterday. This is a little bit different though. This is a little bit different because it's an equation from the start. So that's a great idea, Derek, and I really appreciate you paying attention yesterday. Could I divide both sides by 3?
Yes.
This is an equation. Is that allowed? Can they divide both sides by 3? Yep. And so then what would be left? The log base 10 of x equals 1. 10, loop-de-loo, yep, 10 to the first equals x, so the answer is 10. Loop-de-loo is gonna get you out of a whole bunch of messes, folks. We gotta remember the loop-de-loo. That's how we solve most of our equations. All right, how about this one? Divide by -2. I like that idea a lot. It's an equation. So ln x equals -2. Now, what is ln? ln is log base e. Every time you see an ln, you can think of it as, or rewrite it as log base e. And then can we loop-de-loo? E to the -2 equals x. And what does e to the -2 mean? 1 over e squared. And you're allowed to stop right there. E is e, it's fine. We don't want to have a negative exponent, so we're going to rewrite it as 1 over. But that is correct. What are you going to do with this one? What are you going to do first?
Multiply.
Put in a 10. And then what does it say when I loop-de-loo it? 10 to the 1/2 equals x. Guys, this is your loop-de-loo. 10 to the 1/2 equals x. Wait a minute, what does that mean? 10 to the 1/2. What's a 1/2 exponent? No, a half of 10 would be 5. This is 2 to half power. What do we do with a fractional exponent? Make it a radical. So isn't this the square root of 10? So yesterday, I told you that a 1/2 exponent is the square root, right? And vice versa. And a 1/3 exponent is a cube root, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, here we're using that idea. All right, how about this one? The log base 10 of x equals 1/3. What does that one say? 10 to the 1/3 equals x. And what does that mean? 10 to the 1/3 means cube root of 10. That one's the cube root of 10. A 1/3 power means a cube root. Every time. All right, one more in that section. We've just done 2 just like this. What am I going to do first? This is log AC. E to the 1/4 equals x. And that's the 4th root of e. Very, very good. Very good. Okay. All right, we're going to do a couple from this next section, and then I want to take a look at, get some loose ends wrapped up here. But let's look at this next section, 3.4. So your 3.3 homework will be due on Thursday. I would like to get that started with you here in a few minutes, so if everybody will kind of wake up and get excited here, we can crank out this first part of 3.4. Okay? So 3.4 says I've got the log of x minus the log of y, and I have to write that as a single logarithm. Now, here's what that means. There are two logarithms, and we gotta put them together. This is gonna be necessary to solve some of our equations. You have to put them together. The rule says, if they are being subtracted, then when I put them together as one logarithm, they're gonna go together as a division. So it's like exponents. If you're dividing, you subtract the exponents, so it's the same idea. Subtraction becomes a division when you put two of them together. Now, let's look at problem B. I bet you have an idea how I'm gonna handle that. How do you think I'm gonna handle that? Not as a division, but as a multiplication. But there's an added complication. There's this number out in front. Anybody remember from last year what I do with a number out in front like that? He actually becomes an exponent. So this part right here becomes the log of x squared. And then I have plus the log of y. And the directions say put it together as one. So instead of having two separate logarithms, I'm going to end up with one. What am I going to have inside that parentheses? X squared times y. So why did this one go together as a division? Because that is a subtraction, and that's what we do. Why did this one go together as a multiplication? Because that's what we do with adds. There are three properties of logarithms, three main properties, and we just did all three. If you have a subtraction, put it together as a division. If you have an addition, put it together as a multiplication. And if you have a coefficient out in front, make it an exponent. All right, so with all that in mind, let's look at C. You are going to put this together as one logarithm. Instead of having all this, you're going to have one. Take care of that first. PEMDAS, that's an exponent. This is an exponent. So that becomes log z to the 1/3. Now, what's going to go in this parentheses right here? Z to the 1/3 times W. Why is it times? Because that's an add. When that's an add, they get multiplied. Okay, what about D? Come on, look alive, guys, so we get time to do some homework. Get some of that cranked out for you. What do you think about this one? What are you going to do with that? Where does that go? Exponent. So that's going to come up here. Like that. And what about that? Isn't that going to do the same thing? I'm gonna put it together in one logarithm. And since that's a minus, I'm gonna put it together as a divide. So I'm gonna have xy to the fourth divided by x cubed. Now, this hadn't happened with our other ones. This actually simplifies. What's that numerator? If you distribute that exponent, what is that? X to the fourth, y to the fourth? And what happens there? Can't we cancel? So our final answer, this one involves a little bit more, is log xy to the fourth, because those are gonna cancel with those. So it is a division, but we were able to cancel. Hang in there, almost done. All right, what do you think about E? Let's put that together. What's that gonna be when I put it together? The log of, not 4/7, 4 times 7. So it'll be the log of 28, 4 times 7. How about F? What's F gonna be? The log of what? You're gonna put them together. What are you gonna put them together as? 16 divided by 8, which is the log of 2. 16 over 8. Now, LNs are logarithms, so they go together the same way. The rules apply. So I have ln 19 minus ln 8. So when I put them together, what am I going to have in here? 19 divided by 8. Why is it divided? Because the problem was a minus. And then the last one, it's a little bit bigger. Who can tell me what I should do first? This is going to be a couple of steps. What would you do first? Exponents. So this is going to become ln 2 cubed. This is an exponent. Plus ln 36 to the 1/2. What's 2 cubed? 8. What's 36 to the 1/2? 6. Why is it 6? Because what does 1/2 mean? Doesn't that mean the square root to the first power? And the square root of 36 is 6. So this was ln 8. This was ln 6, because it's the square root of 36. They're being added, so when I put them together, what am I going to have? 48. Now that's a lot. Really important stuff. We're going to continue with that tomorrow. But what I want to do now is I'm going to get back your last test to you. Both of them, because I never returned the other one. So you have a minute to look these over. Touch base with your partner. Whatever, find somebody that's got your same test. Look over. I will be collecting these back up. And then, after we take a look at your test, we might get started on homework. So if you want to go ahead and get started on the 3-3 homework, while I am, passing these out.
When's 3-2 then?
Today.
Oh.
Willow?
No, Wednesday.
Willow? She Willows, because she's special.
Gotcha.
There's a less for you now. Now I'm gonna collect that back up.
I just want to be back. Hey, I found the half point. It's in the one more. Bro.
Buddy for this?
Oh, I got a 180.
Oh, for
I got a 180.
You did everything.
Oh, I forgot about it.
There you go. Execute. And that would just be, that would be 35. That's not 35.
That's great.
Always go to that's one place is open.
Buddy is increasing.
Yes, that would be 35.
Oh,
Yes. But go to two decimal places open. Where's that? Forget the one. Go to two decimal places. 35. And here. What is that?
Garrett. I called her honey, is that right?
I know what she
We got a
said.
problem with that?
Yeah, I
To
apologize.
the front page. Oh.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Oh.
Don't say.
Oh, it's supposed to be a positive one. What?
Oh, she didn't know my homework. I didn't really. I put
I did that. Okay. I'm not done. You did that. Consistent with the calculator. Oh,
Yeah, so we were using our
that one actually picked it up.
No, literally.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, for real?
That could be your best bet.
Oh, you do what you doing on this?
16.
Is it 1.35 or 1.3? No, it's increasing. Increasing, but
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
And then you move that over. Fine. Oh, yeah.
Wait, are we keeping?
No, I'm gonna collect those back up. And we're going to,
Oh, the line she's taking.
and we're gonna do some homework, get some homework done.
this one,
I guess so.
hey, you see if I do this right?
And I have homework.
You take this and you like do about 35 or is it like yours?
Yeah, and we did 1.035, this is right.
This right, I'm going along.
You got both of your stuff, buddy?
Jack got English or something? Were we supposed to talk about? Oh, yeah.
That's what I did.
I just don't know his
I gotta leave it like that. Why?
Backstory setting.
Why do I leave it like that?
I might have to look that up. On my hand again.
Why do I?
Mary, did you finish your thing for Holy Cross slideshow? For Nick 6, whatever we're reading. Oh, like our group? Yeah. I don't know if I turned it in. We haven't even started.
We need to get that done, big guy.
Wait. You okay with that?
All 4 of them here.
Okay.
Yep.
You go to the Canvas browser and then it'll tell you. You go to his assignment and then it'll tell you. What's the name guy?
Okay, did I get all the
Nick,
tests
what's
back?
his name?
Alright, then let's get out, free homework,
He'll think like it's both either.
and let's see how much of that we can get done for
Did you
you.
use?
Free,
You did? Now depends on your close then. That's
it's free homework. Alright, here we go.
but you didn't say like.
Guys, we'll get it done, then y'all don't have to do it, okay?
Turn your YouTube off. Miss Ford, turn it off. You're gonna get copyrighted.
Yeah, we're not gonna have we don't have any weird things going on today, do we?
I don't think so. No, with the DJ.